Hello everyone, welcome to JoshCast, the first episode, and today I'm going to be talking about dementia or living with dementia. Today I'm joined by three guests. First I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then I'll get into the topic of today's podcast. So, to my right.
Hi, my name's Christian. I am a filmmaker and a photographer and a student. Yeah.
Thank you. Yourself?
I'm Leon, I'm a photographer and videographer and a student.
Good for you, buddy. I'm Xander. I'm also a student who does videos and I've been working on photography lately, so yay.
So today I'm talking about dementia, as I've said already, and how we can help with that with people who live with it. And so there's things like Duplo bricks, Lego bricks, things that can help people with it and to help with reduce anxiety, agitation. So dementia, there's also types of it as well. So you've got Alzheimer's and what that means is basically people who suffer with memory loss, thinking, routines, thinking and behaviour, but things that happen earlier on in their life, like alcohol, substance abuse, their diets, not getting much exercise, that can have a later impact on in their life as they get older. I recently saw a study where it's not just elderly people, it can happen when you're about 30 to 45, 65 years old, which is quite scary really. So it's important that we spread that awareness today to people who live with it, to make sure we're aware of it so it doesn't happen in their lives. So people who have dementia, struggle to understand things and it can be very tough. So do any of you guys have any personal experiences maybe or anything you're comfortable to share?
I have a family member, my grandmother, and although she's 91 now, and I'm like, get in, she has had experiences with memory loss and stuff related to almost dementia. So she was diagnosed last year with early onset dementia, so it's like slowly kicking in. So the older she gets from now on, the worse it's going to get. But when I was a little kid, there was an episode she had. So I was on holiday with family, and I remember we tried calling her. We called her every day to see if she was okay. She's on the house on her own, looking after her cats, and we picked up the phone one night, and men were like, "Hey, you're okay?" and stuff like that. And she started speaking random words, and we didn't know, she wasn't making any sense, and she didn't know who she was on the phone to. So we were like, that's scary. So we I think we had to cut the holiday short, go all the way home, 4-hour drive, and I was only a kid, mind you, but I could remember it. She was walking in odd places in the house. She couldn't remember who her family members' names were, and she was speaking odd sentences, and she kept reminiscing about the past, and they were talking about her husband who passed away, my grandfather, and it was very scary as a kid because I thought that's odd. It almost felt you were sort of looking at a person who was sort of losing themselves a bit, which was very scary. But yeah, but she's all right now. But yeah, very scary experience.
I can imagine that you don't know what it is at that age.
Yeah.
And then later on in your life, you find out what that is and you learn more about it as you get older. So that's the main point why I want to speak about it, because back then, I'm assuming she got help and everything, but back then people, family members or siblings or caretakers should have come in and helped her, with strategies like Duplo blocks, Lego blocks, anything like that to help with
explain a bit, what's this Duplo bricks thing?
So basically, these things can help with the bright colours, can help with their brains. It's hard to explain, but
I get it.
So
it offers multi-sensory information. It fosters a sense of accomplishment and calmness. They're doing something as well. They're not wandering off thinking all these things.
Yeah.
They're not confused. They're relaxed. They're in a calmful environment. And being there for them can do so much. So it's important that there is someone there to help them with their condition. It's just a good thing to do for them. So Do any of you guys have any maybe experiences you'd like to share?
Well, I've got a friend, and his grandmother had dementia, and at first it was just sort of the smaller sort of symptoms that you get, you know, just being forgetfulness and things like that. But then all of a sudden it kind of got to a point where they'd go and visit her, and she didn't even know who there was. Like, so they'd say like grandma and stuff, and she'd be like, who are you? You know, and my friend was saying it was one of the most upsetting things he's ever had to go through, because it's like he saw it in her eyes. He said that she didn't know who he was, you know, and he says, and that's the part of dementia that I think is the most detrimental to not the person who's got it, but the people around them, because obviously you see that person from who they was deteriorating to someone else, you know, who don't even know who they are or anyone else.
Sounds painful.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
Right. And yourself?
Honestly, I can't really think of any like family members or like friends that have suffered from dementia, but like I feel like my nan might have like some sort of like, I won't call it dementia, but it's if she's not listening or she just easily forgets. But when you tell her something and like a couple hours later she'll be like, what? Or like, what you... But it might be because she's just not listening. We don't know if it's like early dementia. It's hard to tell sometimes.
But even then, that's scary because like people know about dementia enough to go. Like if you're an elderly person or you have a family.
It's happened enough to the point where as a family, we've like spoke about it.
Exactly,
it's like, is this dementia? Or is Nan just
because it scares you, makes you think.
Yeah, it's just haven't been ignorant, not listening, or it could be like early signs.
Because she's an older lady.
You think
you're putting it down to she could be getting forgetful and dementia, but she might not.
It's hard right now to categorise if it actually is dementia or if she's just not listening.
Yeah, and sorry.
So I just thought
myself. I remember a few years ago, my nan passed away. Now we visit her quite a lot, and she'd sometimes hear things. She'd be in a chair. And she'd hear things under the floorboards and be like, no, you're insane. She lives on like the first floor. There's nothing there. And she'd forget who we were, she'd forget where things are. She lived on her own quite a lot. She always sat in the same chair, she had a lot of routine. So I think she might have had a bit of dementia, but I know she passed away from a stroke, bless her. But
that might have been a symptom of the stroke, the hearing.
They
said that, don't they? You can hear weird things.
Yeah. I was at a young age. I was in primary school at the time, and I'd come home after tea and come over and come and see her. But I think that was probably one of my only times I've probably experienced one in my life. I've maybe had dementia. Or in stages of it.
Yeah, it's same as Xander, because I've not had anyone immediately in my family who's been suffered from it. Yeah. But I've had plenty of friends and stuff who their relatives have.
Well, we're keeping an eye out on my nan just in case later on in her life she's forgetting more and more. It's at that point it's like, okay, maybe it's early
it's
stages.
It's a bit like my mum,
because
there's times where we think she's getting forgetful, but I just think, no, she's just not listening.
Exactly. So, it's just that. It's just like, she could just be like, just in her own world, like daydreaming, just like trying to talk to her.
I think she is also.
So I'm hoping with this, I learn one or two things about how you can spot it early on, so we can see a doctor about it straight away. So I'm hoping to learn some things from this.
Yeah, but it's important to know it now.
And recognising the symptoms, isn't it? Because like we've just said, it's...
Well, we have, because we've had this discussion.
You can mistake the symptoms for someone not listening or something like that.
It's very hard to tell the difference.
But, sometimes you miss those signs and they may have it,
Yeah.
Even if somebody is like... Let's say, given my nan, if it's not actually her just not listening, it actually is like dementia, you still have that awareness that prior, when you think that in between gap, you still have that awareness that probably go see a doctor about it later on in life. And we're hoping it's not.
But it's a slightly different subject,
awful.
But my mum's suffering from a hearing issue at the minute.
Yeah.
And because she's a woman of a certain age and she's quite proud and things like that, we sort of like, go to doctors, go and get your ears checked out. Yeah. But she won't do it because of the type of woman she is, She'd have to be fully deaf before she actually goes and gets herself checked out,
Key reduction strategies include regular exercise and high nutrition diets. So those things can help prevent that condition happening in the future. And do any of you guys know if that could be something that they could do?
I think actually, yeah, because obviously my grandma is very old now, and she's she's struggling to get around the house and stuff like that. Obviously, we have carers for her. But when last year, she had a bit of an accident where she had like an infection or something, and it wasn't an infection to do with like dementia or her head, but it made her forget things. And it was like, it's weird how something else entirely in the body can cause that. But what she's been doing is she's got a Zimmer frame now, and she can move around the house a lot easier. And her just we noticed a rise in her activity. So like her moving around the house more and like being more independent with herself again, it's definitely helped with her memory. So it's like her doing patterns and things like that. And her diet has gone down a bit as well, because we've like, she likes her cakes and her sweet treats, and she still does, but we're a bit more like, maybe a little less of that. and yeah, it has helped. So it has helped and helped with memory and stuff like that, which is brilliant.
Again, like blood pressure, high blood pressure, not smoking. I know people that don't smoke don't. Some people that don't smoke don't always get it or will get it. But also by staying socially connected as well, that can help reduce it. I know.
Yeah, because many old people end up with dementia or some kind of forgetful kind of disorder, but then they get put into an old people's home where they're in an unfamiliar environment. They don't know anybody there, and then the only people that they have family members visit once, maybe twice a week. So that can't help the memory being in a completely different place.
Yeah.
To strangers.
Different caretakers coming every day.
Yeah.
Like,
that can't help at all.
There is someone across my road that she's on her way. She's a bit. But bless her, she's not very well, and she gets caretakers coming every day.
Yeah.
They change. They come in twos, they come in ones. They come like 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening. And you've got to feel sorry for them. Like, every day coming over, I don't know what condition she's got, but it could be anything.
I think it's more detrimental to her, because if she had the same carer, that came every single time,
It
it was
would
the
help her to
same
remember.
person. It's familiarity, because I think that's what the thing is. With dementia, you've lost part of your former self.
Yeah.
So anything familiar can help, bring back maybe memories, things
that's
like
why
that.
things like Lego bricks, Duplo blocks, after that sensory.
And like you were saying with food, because like they tell you, don't they, you've got foods out there like brain foods, so such as fish, which are full of omega-3 oils and things like that. It's brilliant for your brain.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, do you encourage people to eat more of those kind of foods?
Yeah. Well, I think when people like that when they live on their own, they might get put on like a benefits thing or a health plan. They'll get food sent to them every day.
They'd have
so I'm
meals on
assuming they'll
wheels
have
and
food
that.
like that to help them with that, so that's good. But I'm talking more about people like our age, younger, who want to notice these signs earlier so that this can't happen to our, let's say, our parents or
Prevention in a way.
and also having that personal experience instead of having someone that you don't know from the outside world come into your comfortable space, your living room, your bedroom, even, because if you're that poorly, you want someone you're going to know, someone to be there for you, who's going to sit on the floor with you and do some.
But I think sometimes with families in particular, because I think that responsibility does fall to the family a lot of the time.
It is a lot.
And it is a lot. It's a lot to put on a family, and especially a family that needs to go out to work, has probably their own family. It's a lot to ask, individuals to do, So if home help was more encourageable for people with dementia and stuff, like I said, it's the same carer coming every day, that familiar, it doesn't have to be a family member to create familiarity,
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
Well, going on what you said earlier about when people live alone, my nan does live on her own, but even though she does, I think it's I don't know if I think it's Mondays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays. She goes to this thing called, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, it's called Self-Rutherford. It's like near like, Self-Rutherford. It's like near that, I can't remember the location, but it's like a club for older people. So they go there and they like socialise with
Like a
people.
day centre.
Yeah, exactly. They go there, socialise with people, so it keeps them like active instead of just being in the house. So if like families or people think their loved ones are on early signs of dementia, doing stuff like pushing them to go to an activity, at least it keeps their brain functions like working and seeing the same people constantly.
That's brilliant.
And on every Sundays, my nan always comes down for dinner. My mum always cooks the family dinner on Sundays, so she's also getting that meal thing that she like every Sunday meal. So she's always got something healthy to eat. And I know it's probably got nothing to do with it, but she does like fish. Every time we go out to go out eating somewhere, say if Mum didn't want to cook, she'll always get fish and chips. It's always like a small fish and chips. It's so like
Is that with batter and everything as well?
yeah.
Yeah.
So if fish is like linked to like brain juice, like Leon said, there's like a good sign that if my nan's already doing the stuff that prevents it.
Familiarity.
In my own sense, my nan.
Feel you at ease as well.
Yeah, so I personally feel my nan's already in that pot where she's like, I think she's going to be
She's up and
fine.
about and walking.
Yeah, she's constantly out of the house. She lives alone, but the days when she's
Does the
not.
shopping and things like
Yeah,
that.
she goes to town every Saturday.
Yeah.
She's always in town. Every Saturday, she's always in town because she hates being in a house by herself. She lives by herself, but she doesn't like being by herself.
Yeah.
So
She's very much like me.
You don't want to go insane. Do you? You don't want to.
So when she gets the option to, she's usually kicking down the door.
Yeah, she could.
If she could, yeah. But like, she's an active person despite her age.
There are things like Dementia UK, charities out there that help people with dementia. So I've recently read a study I read on their website where that particular dementia charity, they do have a ambulance service nearby. So if there are any problems, they're a call away. And I did read something about they do come over and help those people with dementia, and also they come to their like talks and their activities that they do, so they get to speak to the people who have dementia, help them, just generally be a friend, and also be a paramedic, do the job, which I think is a really nice thing to do.
It's
It's a little bit like the charity that I'm connected to at the minute. It's called SN4C, and they go to elderly people and have a cup of tea with them. So they'll sit, people who are lonely, they ain't got many relatives or whatever, and they sit and have a 2-hour conversation, a couple of cup of teas with them and that, and it just makes their week.
Yeah, it really does.
Because they've got something to look forward to, someone who's come to see them, and I think that's what a lot of elderly people could do with, really.
I think that's why my nan likes going to like the centre all the time and going to town.
She probably bumps into
something
people she knows
all
or
the time.
whatever,
You can't be in town with her because she's it's like an average is 3 people she sees. I think last time I was with my nan in town, we stopped like 4 times because she's like, "Oh, Barbara, hi, how are you?" It's just like one of those things. Like, so I know she's okay.
In town.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly the
And
same.
we were still talking for like 5 minutes in that card shop.
I mean, before you know it, your day's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So at least I know she's okay because she's like active.
Probably is absolutely fine.
Yeah, she's probably is fine. She's just ignorant. I think that's what it is. Sorry, none of you ever watched it.
With old age, I think you become. I don't think because people automatically put because you're getting older,
And that's
it's going to be
category.
dementia.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you get a little bit forgetful as you get older. Anyway,
Yeah.
My mum's not got it, but she's got like menopause. But that's normal for women. At
Old
her
women
age,
go through the menopause.
Yeah, but we have a laugh about it. It's nothing.
For some women, though, menopause can be it can change the entire chemistry of the body.
Yeah.
So that's why they can end up a little bit cranky and weird a bit.
It's an interesting fact.
Mood swings as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean. Trying to sound professional. Blood sugar as well. Sorry. Blood sugar as well. So if someone maybe has type 1 diabetes or type 2, that could also impact them. So having spikes of blood sugar every now and again, that could lead to dementia. That could lead to Alzheimer's maybe. So I know myself, I'm type 1 diabetic, my friend over here is as well. So again, it's hard to manage that and then to prevent another condition happening later on in life. So I think it's really important that everyone out there knows the symptoms to prevent it from happening in the future, like I've said earlier. So
What are the symptoms? Do you know?
symptoms of dementia. So memory loss, behavioural changes, forgetting recent events.
Maybe family members' names and things like that as well.
Yeah, that's just memory loss. It's nothing.
Because that's the thing, what are the warning signs, really,
I've got a quick question. I got a bit lost a second ago. You mentioned sugar levels and the whole diabetic thing. I want some really stupid here. How is that necessarily linked to early signs of dementia?
I was going to say...
Because,
I can
when
say
you
it's
mentioned it,
happened,
I'm just like, I've never heard that once, like people...
Well, this is it, though. Cause
People with diabetes are at more risk of contracting those conditions in later life.
I mean, the
But
thing
how
is,
is that-
it's not
where's
just
that linked,
dementia,
though?
Xander, it's not just dementia, it's that blood sugar affects more than just one area. If you have a bad blood sugar all your life, you're going to be prone to so many more diseases and mental injuries when you get older, and dementia could be one of those things you get.
Again, it's like it
Jesus.
changes the chemistry of
My
their
knowledge
bodies.
of diabetic stuff
It's
is
the blood. It's in the
just
bloodstream.
shocking.
So if you get high blood, your blood's clotted. You got sticky blood, dry lips,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
thirsty.
Yeah, it's the chemistry. It changes
Yeah,
the
it's
all
chemistry of
part
your
of the
blood.
bloodstream.
So basically what you're saying is if you have too much of these, like, is it hypos or hypos?
If basically, if you don't have a good blood sugar most of your life, you're more prone to bad things happening.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm
Which
just
is why
ignorant.
it's so important to get
And they always
balance
say,
on it.
don't they, healthy diet, healthy mind.
Yeah.
So obviously
Alright.
with these guys, they can't.
Sorry, I
stick
just
to that,
got a bit backtracked. I was a bit lost when that topic came up. Just like, how is this linked? But I started to understand what was going
that's
on
all
here.
right.
Sorry about that. Carry on.
And so with dementia, how might someone feel when they're forgetting things? Like, how do you think they feel?
Scared, I imagine.
Yeah.
Frightened.
Would we know though? How would they would feel? Because if it's like dementia and
I think you would.
and the
actually.
mindset is
I
different.
suppose some people might feel like brain fog, where it's like they just don't really know what's going on, and it's sort of like all a bit of a mist to them, and it's just sort of like.
You have to think for yourself. You have to think if it was yourself, and your faculties are fine one day, and then next day you wake up and
would the
you find
person
everything hard
recognise
to
the
remember.
difference?
Huh?
Would you say the person that has like dementia, would they recognise the difference?
I suppose they would, because
Yeah, you
could
would.
you imagine
'cause
if
it
you
were happening
right?
to yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You'd start to pick up
It's
on
like
a few
something
things.
else.
Yeah, but if I forgot what I was like because of dementia, how would I know what I was like prior to it?
No,
That's
I
what I
think
Because it would have been that, because it happens slowly. Dementia. It don't
it's
just
not.
come
Just
on.
it's not like an overnight
Yeah,
thing.
it gets degraded. It gets worse.
It's a
as it
degrading
goes on.
disease, yeah. And it could be quite
Gotcha,
scary because
gotcha.
could you imagine family members like walking in and one day you know them and the next day it's a bit foggy and you don't remember them and then they're just strangers to you, like, who the hell's in my house?
But that's what my
you
friend
know what I
was.
mean?
You know the friend who I said who they went to visit and they come.
Yeah.
He said it started with names.
Yeah.
You know, like so they'd go and visit her and then she'd call him his mum's name
Yeah.
or you know something like that. And that's how that started. And
Yeah.
it got to that point where they went that time. She didn't know who they were.
Yeah, so I can imagine they'd all feel quite frightened, or
Yeah.
either frightened or quite foggy.
I mean, it's
and a bit.
frightening for the person who's going through it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because like one day you'll know who you are, where you are. The next day you don't know where you are.
You
who
can't
are.
remember as much,
You know,
yeah.
it's quite scary.
With that as well, like let's say they're physically able to go out and do things, like grab a pint of milk, get to the shopping, get some apples, fruit. They could be paying for it, and then they could be completely forgetting where they put the wallet, and then they're holding a queue of people behind them with no thought, no recognition, no awareness of what they're doing. Bless them. So that's a big thing that needs to be mentioned. I think that people need to have a bit more patience, a bit more time, a bit more care, honesty, support, awareness of it. So it's not on them. It's not their fault that they're going through that. that they're struggling to do those most simple tasks in their day.
But I
There's
think what
people out
comes
there.
with it as well, is I think frustration comes with it as well, because, you know, like, some family members could handle it well, and they'll be like, oh, you know, it'll just be the dementia, or, you know, something like that. Then you've got other families, there could be other families where they shout at them for it. You know, why are you doing that?
It's
You know,
not their
why are you
fault,
forgetting
though.
that?
Yeah.
And that is probably worse, you know,
That's good to make
than
them
anything
worse.
else.
Yeah.
You know,
Make it
because
worse.
you're making them feel even more guilty.
That's just the wrong
for
way of
something
going
that's
about
not their
it.
fault.
Yeah.
Building it up in a
Yeah, yeah.
and making them feel even more worse.
Because people do it with children. I know it sounds
do,
horrible,
yeah,
but they do it
yeah.
with children. So you've got a child, say 3-4 years old, they don't fully understand, and their first impulse is to shout at the child.
And that gives
rather than
confidence
go down
issues
to
later
their
in
level
life,
and just
yeah.
explain to them, you
Yeah.
know, which is kind of what you should do with someone with dementia.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your age, what age you are, you need to be there to help, because, you know,
Yeah.
their brain's not quite
There.
they're not quite
Precisely.
there, like that's how
And
it
with
is.
that comes confusion and, you know,
Yeah,
everything else.
Yeah. I know there's probably funding out there as well to help with that. There's helplines, things.
I also know there's a charity organisation that also helps the families. So there's plenty of help for people with dementia, but there is a charity out there that works with the families and helps them understand the process.
That's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so it's a bit like Cancer's Macmillan charity. you know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I think that's all we have time for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
I really,
thank you.
I really appreciate it. I hope it's helped. I will be leaving links and things on the screen for things out there to help people with dementia. So there is always help out there, especially with family members, caretakers, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.